awesome. I've spent the last couple of days just revamping my small home studio here. I've removed a wall over here, and which basically now gives me a line of sight instead of through a door, straight through to what is our isolation room. And I've also been able to reconfigure. My mixing desk is just there now to hand. I used to sit over there with my desk. If you look on old videos, and you'll see the amps and whatnot were where the computer is now. Also, I need to get a few more microphone stands, but I've got this mic here now. I've got a condenser mic over there. I've got one on the 4x12 cab as well. And I've got a free mic for vocals. But this is my Taylor. It's a 410 CE with an alley bone gold, or however you say it, sides, the mahogany neck, I think, ebony fretboard and bridge. And I'm playing this through my SL50R, but also through the stereo out. I put a send into my door, and it sends to the PA. You can see the left looking out speaker. There's one over there as well, and I've got my two monitor speakers in front of me, so I'm actually sat within the sound, and it's a really nice kind of way to play. I'll do a few more videos. I'll do a screen capture explaining the routing of the studio here. I have a piece of paper here with it sort of on. I might put this on a screen thing. It's actually, there's a copy of this on the Viking Sound Cooperative mixing page. And what I can do is I can actually, with my Variacs, I can play in stereo two different guitars, one using the GK3 pickup and the VG88 pedal, and the other out from the Variacs, whatever model that is, and I can play that in stereo. The JCM 2000, the AS50R I usually pair together, and the MGD-FX 100 and the bass cube. The bass cube is just sort of tucked away under here. The interface that I use is a Motu Traveller. Since I've revamped and completely rewired the studio, the MIDI settings aren't working, so I've got a MIDI keyboard here, which that's something I'm going to do a bit later. I had the environment open and the sequencer page. I had to go to it last night. I was a bit tired and I didn't manage to sort of get it back into a workable condition. So I've also got a honky tonk piano there, which I've moved, yeah, I'm really quite pleased with the setup. Of course, the proof of the pudding is in the eating and how it sounds. It's an interesting thing how things sound. I mean, I personally don't treat YouTube or my YouTube channel as a window on, you know, what I'm absolutely, you know, capable of. You know, every video I do is not my best shot. Usually I'm just practicing, or I've set something up, I'm doing something, I think, well, I'll just record this now. The old studio, it was a bit cramped to be moving microphones around and all the rest of it, so I really, my view is, well, it's there, you kind of make it out, you can't make it out. Generally you can see the picture, you can see what the fingers are doing or whatever, and it's really, it's Horace said that he was started as half finished, and I sort of tend to subscribe to that. There's another version of that, was if you're well started, and the various other proverbs. A good proverb I read this morning, a Scottish one, which is a tidy eater never enjoys a meal or something. I have to look that one up, but I mean, what it's basically saying is if you fuss about with all the whys and wherefores and all the details all the time, you spend all your time doing that and none of the time actually with the praxis of getting on with it. That's praxis and not practice. So such is life. Anyway, I thought I'd do a tune that I learnt last summer. It's a finger pick tune. It's made famous by Davy Graham, who wrote it. I think he wrote it and played it in open D. I play it in standard tuning, but Jansch plays it with a capo in standard in open D, I think, possibly standard. But I just play it in first position, which is basically A minor, and it goes like this. Nice tune, that one. I mean, I don't subscribe to any particular arrangement of that with so many of the different figures, and I just do it as it comes, really. I like this bit. It's the that's very nice. And then the like an A7 shape, so it's a D7 from here. And that's basically it. Just a quick tour of the studio, which I took this wall out the day before yesterday and today. Still got some tidying up to do around the edges, but it gives me a considerably amount more room. This is going to be the isolation room. There's quite a bit of tidying up still to do. So all my guitars and their cases there. Little iMac there, but I'm going to hot rod. Cables and cases and whatnot. Bass and I think that's my Telecaster thin line up there in that one, or it might be the Strat and that one might be the thin line.
PA, and then amps. It's my mixing desk, the Spirit E8. It's a Tascam slower down for transcribing CDs. Some CDs there, I've got to put their holder back up on the wall. It's my iMac, which I replaced the hard drive in today. There's the offending broken one. That's a 250 gig. I put a 500 gig SATA 2 in, and that's a SATA 1. The performance is much better. You can just see all my plugins are just loading. I restored it from that hard drive there, external hard drive, which I booted from. There's a PC down there which I've got to put some more RAM in and upgrade the hard drive as well. And I'm going to use that for my Windows sort of computer. I might put Linux on it. It's my little laptop, and its screen there. There's my monitor speakers, Yamahas. That's just some computer speakers for the little Rio there. I've got a Firewire cable which I can do Reaper on. I'll just go around the back here and you see the inputs and outputs on the Traveller. So I basically play into that and send the signals to the different amps. You can see 1 and 2 there, that's the left and right from the desk. The microphones come into the desk and they get mixed in. I can plug a guitar in at the top here, mute the microphones and play it in stereo out of 1 and 2. I've got 5, 6, 7 and 8 all taken care of, though not 8. Where they all go to is explained on the Viking Sound Cooperative website. There's my Cube 100 bass amp, which is just sat under there just for safekeeping. Another printer, scanner over there, and then I've got my cupboard here, which has got various discs and manuals, a bunch of guitar books. So there's a preamp there. I replaced the tube, but I think I've got to take it out and something's gone in there which I haven't discovered yet. That's the mic for Johanna's clarinet, my soldering iron, a couple of tuplers up there, there's guitar stuff, a south plug up there, there's a little digital mini disc recorder up there in the top corner as well, which we're going to use for band practice on Wednesday. And then my pedals, I've got a ME50 there, Roland VG88 there. All of them have outs going into the Motu Traveller, and there's my Pod XT Live there. There's my Variax, which I've got out at the moment. Taylor, I'll have a little play on that in a minute. There's my Hofner Shorty. That's my home server, which has got corrupted as well somehow. So I'm going to get on, fix that. It's just a reinstall, and I've lost any data. And there's an external hard drive cover there. That's the hard drive I put in the Mac. There's a little external 320 gig 2.5 inch SATA there, and that Plex gear. We've got various backups for the Mac on there. And that old Sony television screen will serve as the screen for the, there's an Acer tower down there, which has got puny RAM. Then up here, my wellness lamp, which is all that bright thing. I've got my various folders of songs and tab, the manual for the studio, various other research papers and stuff, and then there's a bunch of CDs and discs and stuff, some DVDs for burning and whatnot. there's a light up there as well, which is a fish tank light, which I don't put on very often. In the winter it's quite nice. Hopefully we'll get the fish tank going upstairs. Here we are, there's the crib sheets there, the cage sequence scales, cage sequence diatonics, and then the circle of fifths, and what chords are which in minor and major chord progressions. That's a signed by Sir Henry Cooper when he floored Muhammad Ali, as he then was. Oh no, Cassius Clay as he then was, rather. There's Sir Henry, R. Henry, in the gym there. There are another two of these paintings here. They're done with stencils by a guy in Bristol. I think he's one of Banksy's guys. I commissioned an extra one because there wasn't a... oh, there was a good... oh, that is the one I commissioned because it's got the guitarist in it. The original didn't have a guitarist. You can see him there playing. Looks like an arch top. Might be a dobro. Two more keyboards in there. MIDI keyboard here. And that's about it.